Hi there, it's -7 today in Finland, but it's a beautiful day because it's bright and sunny. So I'm at my final destination now, and it's the beach. And yeah, I can reveal all about what it is that's kind of prompted this video. And yeah, as I say, in the last few weeks there's been a person, maybe a couple of people, leaving comments on my channel, asking me to reassess my opinion of World War II and the Holocaust in particular. And what I'm going to do is give my views on that. So the first thing to say, I guess, is just to give you some background information about me. So I was born in Rochdale, which is just north of Manchester in England, and I was baptised as a Christian. And although, you know, my family, we only ever used to go to church once a year. Anyway, I'll do another video one time about my sort of Christian testimony. But yeah, so I'm certainly not Jewish. I'm not born in Israel. I'm not a Mossad agent, or, you know, other kind of like crazy stuff like that some people might try to insinuate without any evidence at all for it. Okay, so that said, when I was, I don't know, I suppose from the age of 15, 16, my mum kept on, she'd travelled a little bit as herself before she got married, and she kept on going on about how I should either do wine picking, grape picking in France, or go on a kibbutz in Israel. And I remember when it was my 18th birthday, she bought me a set of suitcases. Hint, hint. Anyway, I was off to university by that stage anyway. So I graduated with my degree in economics, and like most people, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I tried out various things. And eventually I decided that I'll maybe try teaching, give that a go. But before my postgraduate teaching course started, I had 6 months to kill. So I thought, okay, I didn't really have a lot of money at that time, and with the kibbutz back in those days, all you needed was the money for the flight. The kibbutz would feed you and accommodate you and clothe you even, free of charge, in exchange for doing some work for them. So I decided to go on this kibbutz when I was 22, and it was in the south of Israel in the Negev desert, and it's quite an interesting place. They grew apricots, pistachio nuts, nectarines. They also had a chicken house, a sellotape factory. And for those of you that don't know, a kibbutz is like a sort of a mini sort of socialist, not a country obviously, because it's just a community. There you go, it's a community. And there was no money there. And I remember when I used to finish my shift, I was usually working in the kitchen and cooking omelettes and boiling up eggs and stuff like that. I used to be able to just go and get myself a punnet of grapes and go and chill out by the pool that they had there. And obviously it was very, very hot in the Negev desert. It was like regularly over 40 degrees there. So I ended up, you know, coming back home with a good tan. And I really enjoyed myself there. There was volunteers from all over the world. There was, you know, Jenny from Sweden. She was really nice. There was Germans there, there was Canadians there, there was South Americans there, there was people from all over the world, and it was really good fun. Had lots of great conversations with volunteers and also with the Israeli kibbutzniks, and they were always very keen on you know, getting my opinion and anybody else's opinion on what life was like in their home country. So anyway, they had a medical centre there at the kibbutz, and one day I had to go down there for a blood test, it was. And there was a very I say elderly lady, I was 22 then, so everybody looks old. But there was an elderly lady there, and she was doing some paperwork. And you know when I'll turn the camera around, you know, to get to get some dramatic effect here, because it was a dramatic moment for me. You know, when you see somebody who's got a scar or some sort of disfigurement, your kind of eyes are drawn to it, and you think, oh, I mustn't look at it, but your eyes just do. Anyway, I spotted a tattoo with numbers on it on the inside of this lady's, I can still remember it now, on the inside of her wrist. And I thought to myself, blimey, you know, this person was in a concentration camp. And, you know, that was chilling, really. It was still chilling today. I just thought to myself, well, this wasn't just something that was in a book. These concentration camps existed, and people really did get tattooed, and I've seen it. So fast forward a few years, and I'm in my first teaching job, which is at John Ruskin Sixth Form College in Croydon. And at that time I was going out with an Austrian girl, and in my summer holidays we went over to Prague in the Czech Republic. This is probably 93, 94, something like that. 94 definitely. And it was fascinating, great place, you know, because it wasn't that long after the Berlin Wall had come down, and things were pretty much as they were under communism. You know, this was before all the stag doos discovered Prague. So I came back and I talked to my mate, my head of department, Ian, and I said to him, like, we got to go to Eastern Europe and go and check out some of these places. So every year we used to take our business studies students, A-level business studies students, to somewhere in Eastern Europe to go and have a look around factories. And, you know, obviously this was especially interesting given that many of these factories were built, you know, by communist technocrats, and they were having to reinvent themselves, you know, to compete in the free market. Anyway, on one of the trips we went to Krakow in Poland. So of course we although it's not anything related to do with business studies, we decided to take the students to Auschwitz. So I've actually seen that with my own eyes, and it wasn't a nice place, you know. There was definitely horrible atmosphere there. So what was there? What did I, you know, obviously these days, you know, this is the thing. I don't trust anything that's on the internet. I don't trust anything that appears on the comments. I don't trust anything that appears on a web forum, because who knows what's written by 77th Brigade. I don't trust anybody who posts stuff on YouTube, you know. They might be working for the 77th Brigade or whatever. So for me personally, I place maximum trust in things that I've seen with my own eyes, and first-hand face-to-face accounts. So anyway, what did I see when I went to Auschwitz? Basically, there's one part of it which is old brick buildings that predated World War II, and there was walls there with bullet marks in where people were shot initially. There was also rooms, cellars and stuff where, you know, we were told about, you know, people, medical experiments, Mengele, all of that jazz, people being tortured, all of that jazz. And then we walked from there into Auschwitz II, which is the camp itself. And so there was loads and loads and loads of these wooden huts. And then there was the train line that ran through the arch, that I'm sure you're familiar with the image of that. So these wooden huts, they didn't look too nice, I must admit. I wouldn't have fancied being in those in the winter time in the middle of Poland. I think it would have got a little bit cold there, and there didn't seem to be much by the way of sanitation. I didn't see gas chambers there because we were told that the gas chambers were blown up by the Nazis when they were retreating, whatever. Actually, I did see one. There was one or two ovens, you know, for like burning bodies. So, you know, what's my opinion about World War II? Well, basically, it was another one of these governments start all wars, and there's a lot of money in war. And I think World War I was really all about like a satanic blood sacrifice, really. You know, it's a family feud. The Treaty of Versailles was pretty harsh towards Germany. That brought Adolf Hitler into power. Having said that, you need to look at how Hitler was financed. So he was financed by US bankers and industrialists. Now, you know, again, those people who are kind of conspiracy theorists, they would say that they were all Torah readers. They read the Torah. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. I don't think you can actually say that. You know, just as people would, as I said the other day, there was some YouTuber going around Israel, basically being very disparaging towards Jewish people, like tarring everybody with the same brush, and I don't think that that's on. So for me, what I can say is that I believe that concentration camps existed. I believe that Jews were housed in those camps. I believe that millions of Jews died and were murdered by the German government during World War II, who pursued an anti-Jewish agenda. And what happened, I think, is rather than blaming Jews, you should really blame Satan. There was basically a mass formation psychosis that went on in Germany that led to Adolf Hitler gaining power. And yeah, there was demonic possession. People did evil things to other people because Satan got into their heads. That's what happened. And that's basically all that I want to say about World War II. Oh, yeah, the other thing, just the general comments about war in general, is that, yes, all wars are started by governments, and governments do it because there's lots of money in it for the people that sponsor governments and sponsor politicians and get them into power. Yeah, so, you know, don't attribute psychopathy to a particular religious group. You know, it's just ridiculous, you know, to sort of imply that all Jews are evil people and all of the world's problems are down to Jews. You know, what you actually are doing here is falling into the trap of divide and rule. You know, Jew versus Christian, Jew versus atheist, or whatever it is. You know, this is what they want. They want to divide us all up because then we're easier to control. So wise up. That's all that I want to say about that. Wise up. I don't support wars, and I certainly don't support governments genociding their own people. And just because we're living in 2022, it doesn't mean that there's zero chance that this could happen again. So people need to just wise up and be sensible. And if it means that I lose followers as a result of this, or what's it called, subscribers, then so be it.